I've been scuba diving for almost 40 years, but recently, while diving some of my favorite sites, I was shocked to see how much of the coral is dead. So I was thrilled to catch up with Dr. Emma Camp, a marine biologist in Australia who is actually doing something about the threat to our ocean's coral.
And the current trajectory that we're on, it's a real possibility that in our lifetime, the Great Barrier Reef, at least as we know it, will be lost.
Dr. Camp is sounding the alarm about the effects of climate change on Australia's Great Barrier Reef. She says in the last 5 years, the reef has suffered devastating bleaching events.
And the result of this is that we've lost significant coral cover, particularly on the northern Great Barrier Reef. And so it's estimated that about 50% of corals been lost. Just hold that thought for a second and just highlight that does mean that there's 50% still alive. And this is really an important point that gets missed a lot of the time. So if you think about the fact the reef's the size of Italy, it's like you've got some townships that have been damaged or lost, but you've got others that are thriving and doing very well.
Reefs aren't just pretty to look at. They break up those huge storm waves that otherwise menace coastal communities with erosion and flooding. Also, their loss would threaten the survival of much of our fish population.
Something I think is really cool is the fact that reef environments can also kind of be thought of as a modern medical day, kind of cabinet, because there's so many chemical compounds that are found on reefs that we are using in things like cancer treatments and antibiotic treatments.
Emma's work to find solutions has earned her a Rolex Award for Enterprise and recognition as one of this year's Time Magazine Next Generation Leaders. She's also a National Geographic Explorer, and she's only 33.
My research is basically trying to find corals that are living in places that we wouldn't expect. I've discovered corals living in mangrove lagoons, quite hostile environments, very warm, very acidic, and very low oxygen conditions. This is interesting because this is what's happening under climate change.
She calls these super coral.
The fact that we've discovered corals capable of doing that, it's transforming our understanding of how corals can survive into the future.
She believes that recruiting a new generation of scientists is the key to our future.
I really enjoy communicating the science, not only to get the message out there, but to try and motivate, others to kind of get on board, and especially, the next generation, because they fill me with hope.
She says as a kid, she didn't find many role models.
You can't be what you can't see. And so that's why, I've been trying to constantly encourage girls to consider the science, technology, engineering and mathematics.
And she's doing her part to raise the next generation of committed young people. She's just given birth to a son, Thane, and she's already teaching him to swim.
I always was passionate about it, but it brings it to another level when you have your own little one and you're thinking, like, what is their world going to look like? What am I leaving them to, inherit? I want to know deep down that I did everything I could, and also that I encouraged other people. This is my passion. And I just can't bear the thought that I would have to tell my children that our generation knew that it was dying and didn't do anything to help it.
As a scuba diver, I'm extremely grateful for people like Emma and the pioneering work they do.
For Pet Pals TV, I'm Steve Schweitzer.